Ricky Gervais saw Keanu Reeves in the audience and thought this was his chance. He started raining mocking jokes from the stage. "The humble millionaire is here. The show continues." But Keanu's silent stance and his single sentence at the end of the show would show everyone who was wearing the real mask. Before we dive into this extraordinary story, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. If you enjoy heartwarming stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we have another special story for you tomorrow. The Comedy Store, located in West Hollywood, Los Angeles, was one of the city's most famous stand-up clubs. That Thursday evening, the club was hosting a special event. British comedian Ricky Gervais would perform the final show of his American tour here. Ricky Gervais, 62 years old, was a world-famous comedian, actor, and producer. He was known for The Office series, had hosted Golden Globe award ceremonies, and was famous for his sharp tongue and mocking humor. Before going on stage that night, he was making final preparations with his manager backstage. "Ricky," said his manager James Patterson, "there are some important names in the audience tonight. Be careful." "James, man," Ricky said laughing, "I'm Ricky Gervais. Nobody expects me to be careful." The atmosphere of the club was electric. The 200-seat hall was completely full. When the lights dimmed, the hall fell silent. "Ladies and gentlemen," said the host, "Ricky Gervais." Ricky, who took the stage amid applause, took the microphone with his usual confidence. "Good evening, L.A.," he began. "Coming here, I thought, why does everyone love this city? Because everyone here is fake." The hall laughed. This was Ricky's style, provocative, limitless, sometimes disturbing. In the first 15 minutes, Ricky talked about Hollywood life, celebrities' fake behaviors, and the absurdity of social media. The audience was laughing and having fun. Just then, as Ricky looked around the hall, he saw a familiar face in the back rows. Keanu Reeves was sitting quietly, wearing a simple t-shirt and jeans, watching the show. A grin appeared on Ricky's face. This opportunity couldn't be missed. "Oh, wait a minute," Ricky said, approaching the stage. "I think we have a celebrity in the house." The hall started turning their heads. "Ladies and gentlemen, Keanu Reeves is here." The spotlight found Keanu. Keanu waved slightly, smiled, but didn't stand up. "Look at him," Ricky said theatrically. "The humble millionaire. Still taking the bus, still acting like he's poor." The hall laughed. Keanu continued to smile. "Keanu, mate," Ricky said, addressing him directly, "how's the humble act going? Still pretending you don't have $300 million? At this point, some people in the hall began to feel uncomfortable, but most were still laughing. Keanu was just listening. He wasn't reacting at all. "You know what I love about Keanu?" Ricky said, turning to the audience. "He's so loved, so perfect, so fake humble." These words hung in the air. The phrase fake humble had come across a bit harsh. "I mean, come on," Ricky continued. "Nobody is that nice. Nobody gives away millions and acts like it's nothing. It's performance art." The hall was now divided. Some were still laughing, some were feeling uncomfortable. Keanu remained in the same position. His smile had faded, but he looked calm. "Keanu," Ricky said, addressing him again, "say something. Don't just sit there being all mysterious and humble." Keanu nodded, but didn't speak. "See?" Ricky said to the audience. "Even now he's performing the silent, mysterious act." At this point, the atmosphere in the hall became quite tense. The audience members in the front rows looked uncomfortable. A woman whispered to her friend, "This is too much." Another audience member frowned, but Ricky wasn't stopping. He was going too far. "You know what's funny?" Ricky said. "Everyone loves Keanu because he's authentic. But what if it's all an act? What if the whole humble thing is just the greatest performance of all time?" The hall was now very quiet. The laughter had stopped. "I mean, think about it," Ricky said. "Guy makes hundreds of millions, gives some away, takes the subway, and suddenly he's a saint. Brilliant marketing, mate." At this point, the hall became completely silent. The discomfort had become palpable. Keanu was still in the same position. He hadn't stood up, hadn't protested, hadn't said anything. "Keanu," Ricky said one last time. "Come on, mate, give us something, anything." Keanu just nodded and smiled, but he didn't speak. Ricky had started sweating a little. The reaction he was getting from the audience wasn't what he expected. He had gone too far and realized it. "Well," he said uncomfortably, "I guess the show must go on." Ricky spent the next 30 minutes on other topics, but the atmosphere of the hall had been ruined. People weren't laughing, they were just applauding out of politeness. At the end of the show, Ricky thanked the audience and left the stage. The audience also began to disperse. Keanu stood up and walked toward the exit, silently, without saying anything. Backstage, Ricky was talking to his manager, James. "I went too far," Ricky said. "I pushed the Keanu part too hard." "Yes," James said. "Reactions have already started on social media." "What kind of reactions?" James showed his phone. The hashtag #Ricky2Far was starting to trend on Twitter. "People are not happy, Ricky." Ricky sighed. Maybe he had really crossed the line. Just then, someone appeared at the back door of the club. Keanu Reeves. "Mr. Gervais," Keanu said in a calm voice, "can I have a word?" Ricky's stomach turned. This was going to be bad. "Of course," Ricky said. "Look, Keanu, It's okay," Keanu said, raising his hand. "Can we talk privately?" James moved away. The two were left alone. "Ricky," Keanu said, "I understand comedy. I understand roasting. I've been roasted before." Ricky was listening. "But tonight," Keanu continued, "you weren't making fun of a celebrity. You were making fun of kindness itself." These words hit Ricky. "When you mock someone for being humble, for being kind, for helping others," Keanu said, "you're not just mocking me, you're mocking everyone who tries to be good." Keanu paused, looked into Ricky's eyes. "The sad part is," Keanu said, "I think you're a good person too, Ricky. But tonight, you wore a mask. The mask of cynicism." Ricky couldn't say anything. "I don't perform kindness," Keanu said. "I don't perform humility. These aren't acts. This is just who I am." Keanu took a step back. "But the real question is," he said, pausing for his final sentence, "when you go home tonight and take off that comedian mask, who are you really?" And with these words, Keanu turned and left. Ricky was left alone. Keanu's words echoed in his mind. That night when Ricky returned to his hotel, he looked at social media. He saw how bad the situation was. Ricky crossed the line tonight. Attacking Keanu for being kind, really? This wasn't comedy, this was cruelty. Keanu handled this with such class. But the most impressive was a video taken by someone at the club. Keanu's unreactive sitting throughout the show, Ricky's going too far, and the hall's transformation into discomfort. The video had gone viral. But people weren't talking about Ricky. They were talking about Keanu's grace. Look how calm he stayed. True class is not reacting to provocation. Keanu proved who he really is tonight. When Ricky woke up the next morning, he had to face reality. Keanu was right. He was the one wearing a mask that night. Ricky opened his phone and wrote a Twitter post. "Last night I crossed a line. Keanu Reeves showed me what real class looks like. I was wrong to mock kindness. Being good isn't performance art. It's just being good. I apologize." This apology tweet was shared millions of times, but the real change happened inside Ricky. A week later, Ricky wrote a special letter to Keanu. "Dear Keanu, you were right. When I took off the comedian mask that night, I didn't like who I saw in the mirror. For years, I've been so cynical about everything, including kindness. I thought genuine goodness was impossible in this world. But you showed me something that night. You showed me that real strength isn't in making others laugh at someone's expense. Real strength is in staying true to who you are, even when someone is trying to tear you down. I've been thinking about your question. Who are you when you take off the mask? I want to be someone better, someone more like you. Thank you for the lesson in grace. Ricky." 2 weeks later, Ricky received a reply, not from Keanu, but from a children's hospital. "Dear Mr. Gervais, Mr. Keanu Reeves told us you might be interested in visiting our hospital. He said you're looking for ways to use your platform for good. Would you like to come and perform for our children? Not stand up, just being with them. Mr. Reeves said you have a good heart. He'd like to show you how to use it. Sincerely, St. Jude Children's Hospital." Ricky cried. This was real friendship, not rubbing your mistake in your face, but giving you a chance to be better. 3 days later, Ricky was spending time with children at the hospital. He wasn't joking, he was just talking to them, listening to them. Keanu was there too. The two of them, side by side, were reading books to the children. You know, Ricky said to Keanu, I spent so many years making fun of everything. I forgot how good it feels to just be kind. It's never too late to remember, Keanu said. That day, Ricky understood that the real mask was the cynicism mask he had caught himself wearing. Keanu had no mask. He was really who he was. A year later, Ricky's life had completely changed. He was now doing comedy that elevated people instead of just putting them down. He always remembered what Keanu had said that night. Ricky's new stand-up material was about his own mistakes and what he had learned. He was making people laugh, but also making them think. There are two ways to do comedy, he would say on stage, by pulling people down or by lifting them up. I did the first for years. Now I'm trying the second. Months later, Ricky told this story in his new stand-up show. I once tried to roast Keanu Reeves for being too good, he said to the stage. Turns out you can't roast someone for being genuine, because genuine goodness isn't flammable. The hall laughed, but this time with a different laugh, a respectful, meaningful laugh. Keanu taught me that night, Ricky said, that the real performance is pretending to be cynical. Being kind, that's not an act, that's just being human. This story wasn't just a comedian's apology. This was the story of a night when masks fell and real characters emerged. And most importantly, it was the story that kindness could never be a subject of mockery, because real power lies in grace. If you enjoyed this story, click on the screen for more stories that show the power of true character and the effect of grace. Join a journey filled with stories that show how the maturity and compassion people show in their most difficult moments can create miracles. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.